Patch notes, Mario. Patch notes, patch notes. What is going on today, YouTube? Hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today's video is patch notes. It was a couple days ago. Unfortunately, it was Valentine's Day. I didn't have time to get around to it, but now we are getting around to it. We're going to talk about it. It'll be live on Tuesday of next week, and we get to see Nut.
Hold up.
There's going to be a lot of Nut jokes. Not from me, not this video.
It's false.
But in your games, on other streams, and probably in my streams too. So it's an exciting time. Goddess of the Sky 11.2. Nut. Basically, she is assumed to be a ability-based hunter, which is interesting because with a few of the tests that I helped with her, she was more auto attack. So interesting to see if she stays as an auto attack, or if she goes back to an auto attack hunter, or if she stays as an ability based hunter. I don't really have a clue right now. I've not played her. I played against her a few games, but that's it. All right, for Conquest, red buff now loses 6 magical protections. Basically allows mid laners to farm the red, or mage mids to farm that red buff a little bit quicker. But it also means that for mage junglers or guardian junglers, also for guardian mids, mid harpies lose 50 health. Sure, it just allows mid laners to power farm a little bit more. Stygian Beacon has a little bit more value in it. I still think it's just not valuable enough. Like, you're not really contesting Beacon unless you feel like your team is just stronger. The Fire Giant Effigy, this I think means you only have to knock it up 1 time and then maybe auto once or twice. It's not 2 times and then auto 7 times or something like that. So now you can also lifesteal on Fire Giants, Pyros, and Gold Furies now instead of not being able to lifesteal. I think 25% should be a good number. We'll see how much it allows you to lifesteal if you're able to tank it a little bit. It's mostly important for Pyro and Gold Fury to see how much you're actually able to lifesteal from it. Can you solo it at any point? Fire Giant, I think, is pretty unsoloable until you get to like 3k pot, super late game. Dual gods are switching if any of you guys are dual players. Nerfs, Warrior's Axe loses 5 power. Interesting. Alternate Timeline loses 5 of each protection. This one might do a little bit, but I still think Axe is just really strong. Alternate Timeline is a nice little nerf, though. Still strong, though. Yeah, I saw this coming. It's just going to be not a good enough nerf. This just, it doesn't do anything. This is the most irrelevant nerf they could have added. This is still the best anything in the game. It's better than any god, better than any item. You should have at least 1 horrific emblem in every single game. Yeah, horrific still busted. Proximity ward. Now may not be pushed until level 5. Oh. With a big slug before having points in any movement abilities. If you're getting to lane, that means you're level 2. If you're not putting points into a movement ability, you deserve to be punished for it. Come on, guys. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Demon Blade removed attack speed. Oh, removed passive attack speed. 10% attack speed gone. Also with Deathbringer nerf too. I don't think this does too much to the build, but we'll see. I think the build is still fine. This might just lean it more into being the other Deathbringer. The cooldown one might just be better. Conduit, decreased time per stack from 1 second to 0.5. Decreased 2 damage per stack from 2 to 1. This is better for spamming gods. Actually, this might help our... Okay, it's still bad, but this will help it at least a little bit. It's still bad. Prefacing, still bad, but maybe it helps it a little bit. Like maybe slightly spammier characters might be able to use it. Death's Temper, good. Make it less conditional. Give it a little bit extra health. Nice. I'm curious if a solo lane Death's Temper, Bologna, Osiris, or Lang, something like that, without going into like a Kins or Exy or something like that, like just Death's Temper into Adas or something like that, if you have enough damage and enough threat with this. Because the item is statted pretty well. It's just super conditional. I still think the problem is it's probably worse than Acts of Animosity and Kin's combo, so we'll see. But I'm just interested to see what that would mean for this item. Rejuve Heart. So this one is something you'll have to like just try, but I've heard from a few people that it's still just not very good. So I have not tried it. I'm not too sure. I think 75% seems high, but yeah. Vibrant Shard. A nice little buff to Vibrant Shard. And now it actually has some damage in the early game. I think it can now contests as an option. Cannoneers. 5 protections of each. I think this is the buff that they needed to do to it to make it contest, because now it's super cheap. It's not like a waste of, like, it doesn't ruin your build with bad stats. It also just gives you extra gold. So if you go like this into Thebes, hey, maybe Blackthorn, good. Blackthorn down 150 health, down 150 gold, extra 50 health. Hey, maybe it's getting there. Maybe it's getting there. At 2350 with 250 health, this is a bad item. At 2200 with 300 health, maybe. Titan's Bane an extra 5 power, and the cooldown goes down 5 seconds. Really good for late game assassins and also late game ability gods. I think this makes AMC and it makes Marty even better. Might be turning into like a Titan's Bane. They might be turning into Titan's Bane's gods. And also for like that Odibo Mace build, Titans just is that much better. Nerfs Athena, mitigation 10 to 20 in the movement speed. Okay. I really think her getting the mitigation when she ults out is what made her really annoying, because she could just play so dumb and then ult out. At this point, this character's not good. If she is still being played after this, then you are just bad into obvious things. Because if she's ulting over and you're losing the game because she's ulting over to a fight or something like that, you're just trolling. I don't know why this character's getting nerfed. This character was balanced, in my opinion, and now she might be a little on the weak side.
I disagree.
Spirit sees is weaker on initial hit. Party Trick, now her farming is worse. We'll see. We'll see. Thoth. Bonus scaling on subsequent hits from 15 to 10%. So instead of going to 100, 115, 135, it's going to be 100, 110, 121. So that's actually a pretty sizable nerf for the really good players that hit all three. And 5% on Final Judgment? Sure. Sure. But this one is pretty good for pretty relevant for poke in early, mid, and late game.
Bake Kujira.
Shifted max stacks from 6 to 10 to 8 at all ranks. Decreased protections per stack from 2 to 6 is now 1 to 5. So early game, 8 protections. Late game, 40 protections. Late game was 60 protections and early game is 12. So this is just an all-around nerf. Sonic Wave damage goes down, also 10 at each rank. And Yorick's Lament, Yokai's Lament, which is his ult, is now, instead of 5 to 15, it's now 6 to 10. So it's a slight, ever so irrelevant buff early game for a pretty big nerf late game. I think the whale he's easy, which is I think maybe why people think he's so OP, but I really don't think the character was that OP even. He is so easy to play around. He's got one dash, he's got no CC immunity, no slow immunity. I don't know, this character did not feel that impactful when I was playing against him, and now this just makes him a lot worse. Kukulkan Slipstream is 2, movement speed goes down by 10 at each rank, and the cooldown early game stays the same, but late game it's just less spammable, which is I think a good change for Cuckoo. I think this is a fine part to hit. Hachiman Heavenly Banner is also now 14 seconds, mounted archery is now 110 seconds. I think this is a bad way to go around nerfing Hachiman. They're nerfing like the ability part of his kit instead of the incredibly OP just base part of his kit. Passive gives him 15% attack speed at infinite mana. 1 gives him ranged poke and additional damage. 2 gives him additional attack speed and even more attack speed when he steps inside of it. 3 is a dash that is also an offensive stun. Like, he has so much in his base kit that this being on a 1 second longer cooldown and this being on a 10 second longer cooldown is just irrelevant. Like, the abilities are just so strong as is. On her, probably a deserved nerf. Unfortunately. Love on her. Charon, shield goes down 0.5%, so about a 20% nerf to the scaling, the health part of Charon's health, which is more of a nerf to Charon's support. Doesn't really hurt him in mid. Vamana, losing a good amount of power and some lifesteal, which, when you think about Vamana, it's not like his alt autos are doing all the damage. It's the alt animosity and alt kin size that are doing a lot of the damage. So this nerf doesn't really hurt him at level 20. Maybe like level 15 to 19, he's a little bit weaker because he can't just, run you down and just with the base damage of his kit, he's not doing much, or he's doing a lot. But once he gets level 20, this isn't really doing anything. Hades, 10% protection debuff and Pillar of Agony. I mean, that's a nice little buff. Nice little buff. So a lot more strength in his kit, especially against tanks. Hebo, Water Cannon, does an extra 5% damage to minions, and the mana cost is down. This is probably the bigger part. The 5% is nice, but I mean, if he's hitting for 300, 5 extra, there's going to be 315. But the mana cost makes this just so spammable, because it's the first ability level. Hu Yi, 5 damage in his 1. He's back. Xing Chen Furious, big buff. Xing Chen Hook Slam, pretty sizable buff, but I'm still of the opinion this character is just, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. Like, this is like a buff to his early game, and then this is a buff to like the late game too, but 12 seconds, you're still only getting 1 of these off in a team fight, maybe 2. Maybe. I mean, it goes down to like 7 seconds. Most fights are decided before those 7 seconds are over, so you still only have 1 to actually, kind of decide a fight. And it's the same thing with this. Early game, you're not really doing much with the extra 10, especially when the hunters aren't autoing for that much early anyway. Serb, killing a god's soul grants 2% cooldown. Ooh, that's cool. That's cool. I like this for Serb. It allows him to actually jump aggressively now. That's cool. I like that one. Zhong, base attack speed, decreased max stacks. Pretty big buffs for Zhong, actually. The attack speed is very nice. It allows better clear. It allows better trade potential. When your abilities are down, Zhong still has threat to do damage because he has double auto attack. He's got 1.5 damage. So this is really cool. And then Demon Bag just makes it so he gets to that tankier spot faster, which is always good. Kali, okay, that's literally nothing. Horus, base health from 4 and then 12. Holy, they're giving this character an extra 240 health or 244 health. And then he also heals more. Oh, this character's already like hard and annoying to deal with in some games. And now he's just going to be even more difficult to like kind of take down. The bird might return to support. Hercules, Earthbreaker does an extra 20 damage late game. Woo! Nemesis, shield, ooh, 100 to 150. That's kind of crazy. That is kind of wild. Still, you can CC it, but like in the early game, you're not really getting hit with like a bunch of CCs. So 150 health is kind of crazy. And then Divine Judgment movement speed is now 10. Instead of 10, 10, 15, 15, it's now 10, 12. Okay. So you just have slight little spikes on second point and fourth point into the ult. Sure. That is kind of crazy. Giddy Up is 170 damage, but they're buffing it to 195 and his mana cost on it is lower. This doesn't change anything for Chiron or Chiron, not Charon. Chiron. It's whatever for him. But there's the patch notes. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the patch notes? Anything that sticks out to you that you want to try or something that you think that might be super effective? I think Horus might be back. Horus Cannoneers, something like that. Could be very interesting. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you guys again next time. Peace.